In one day, out the next. New Mexico state lawmakers just wrapped up the special session in Santa Fe less than an hour ago. Let's get right to Griffin Rushton, who has been covering every moment of this special for us. And Griffin, we know the focus of the session was on all the changes coming down from Washington, D.C. But some state lawmakers insist some other big issues should have at least gotten a spot on the agenda.
Yeah, and they're issues we have told you about many times before. But first, let's take a look at what state lawmakers did accomplish during this rather quick special session. Both the House and Senate approved a roughly $125 million funding bill, pumping more state dollars into food assistance programs, public broadcasting, rural health care clinics, and health insurance subsidies. All of that meant to fill some anticipated federal funding gaps created by President Trump's big, beautiful bill. Now, we'll mention lawmakers also approved extra funding for behavioral health programs and some state agencies, along with a few slight changes to the state's criminal competency laws. Lawmakers also just approved a bill giving the State Department of Health more power over the state's vaccine guidelines. But Republican lawmakers insist that the state's juvenile crime epidemic, the growing number of substance abuse exposed newborns, and the ongoing doctor shortage are all issues that should have been on the special session agenda. And they brought their own bills to the Roundhouse yesterday to try to address some of those, even though those issues were not included in the governor's official special session proclamation, which means lawmakers couldn't have even acted on them if they wanted to. And that's also despite many of their ideas already facing challenges during the 60-day session earlier this year.
You go out into any community, I don't care if it's represented by a Republican or a Democrat. First thing they're going to talk about is a crime issue. Did we deal with that? That's the emergency. Unfortunately, we were not at the table. We were deemed not important enough to sit there and come up with the agenda.
Now, we've asked Democratic leaders about these specific issues, and they've told us multiple times now there are plans to address juvenile justice, CYFD reform, and those medical malpractice issues in the upcoming 30-day legislative session in January.
All these emergencies that they're talking about will be step number 2 in January, when we have more time, and we are going to take the rest of the interim to work on any bills related that we didn't get today, including crime, including medical compacts and other compacts. We're working on those right now and hope to be ready January for those bills.
Now, we also asked Democratic leadership about those claims that Republican lawmakers were shut out of the planning ahead of this special session. And here's what Speaker of the House Javier Martinez had to say.
They never asked to be involved. And had they asked, they would have been involved.
And he repeated that right after this session just ended. Of course, the House just gavelled out about 45 minutes ago, and everyone is still leaving the Roundhouse as we speak. We're going to share more of what Democrats had to say right after the session ended. That's coming up tonight at 10. Tessa?